Hey yo viewers and viewresses, my name is General Red Strategist and welcome back to So You Being Hunted. This is episode 438. So, continuing on with the tourist trap, we're now on the East Island. I just picked one at random and went to it. So we've got to find more traps, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we've got to do before, of course, we can go back to the centre island and begin plotting how we're going to do this guided tour of ours for the castle, whichever castle it was we're looking at doing. It's actually been a few days since I recorded the previous episode, that is. As you can see, this island also is set to a kind of castle biome infrastructure colour scheme, blah blah blah. But yes, the centre island is where we're going to be doing everything, and because it's been a few days I can't actually remember where I put my original 3 traps. I think it was probably in like a big house, wasn't it? So I'll have to go back and find them at some point. In the meantime, if I could get my hands on a map of the islands, that would always be very, very helpful. But sadly, we don't have that. But we do have tons and tons of weapons and tons of food, which is also fantastic. Let's clear out some of these doors before any robots show up, and hope for the best. Traps, please. Any round? I always think, I always kind of wonder, or have been wondering rather, I should say, ever since I started this challenge, what's the ideal way of finding traps? There is a big factory building off over there. Maybe that would actually be better. I don't know. Maybe there'd be a better chance of finding traps in that one. Because it feels like, I don't know, they're pretty random in terms of whether they spawn in the small kind of default houses like these ones. But at the same time, sometimes it feels like the bigger buildings are where you're more likely to find them. Also, my vitality is going down. Let's eat those eggs. There we go. Now, I hope you guys out there are all doing very well. It's a late Friday afternoon as of when I record this. Work's done for the day. So as usual, I'm doing some recordings. So why the hell not? You know what I'm like. And it's interesting actually because just late this afternoon after I finished my work, I was watching some videos here on YouTube, kind of a mix of things, really. So a couple of channels, I've been watching various bits of content from these last few weeks as well as just last couple of days, early this afternoon even. Good lord, fluffing up my lines already. What am I trying to say? So recently, actually, I uploaded I say recently, as of when this video goes out, it'll be a couple of weeks probably down the line. But not too long ago, I posted a episode of TF2 with me and Phil, where I mentioned a channel I'd watched a few videos of, Fascinating Horror, which I'm surprised, if quite a few people watching who watch videos on my channel probably have, been watching videos from there as well. But apart from Fascinating Horror, there is another channel also that's worth mentioning here that I have been watching quite a bit of content of these last few weeks, and that's Tom Scott. I'm sure people have encountered his videos as well. Some really fascinating stuff. And, a video of his that I watched relatively recently was about, I think it's called, is it called The Strid in Yorkshire? I think it's called the Strid. For those of you who don't know what the Strid is, the Strid is a stream somewhere in Yorkshire which is deceptively sort of mild looking, but it's actually quite dangerous. Basically, it's a stream that looks shallower than it actually is, and it's actually quite deep. And on top of that, it also has an issue where, because it's quite narrow and it goes through some quite sort of jagged, rocky areas, it has very jagged, rocky embankments to it. It also has that issue where the water density is not perhaps as dense as you might think. And so it's one of those kind of streams where if you were to jump into it, you would sink straight to the bottom, because there's so many like air bubbles and things like that coming up from below that, like I say, effectively the water density is very low. Right, what is this fucking guy doing? Just, alright, you do your thing and I'll do mine. Just wait for him. Oi, you little git. Stop that. Don't let me bleed out. Oh my god, there's so many fucking robots around here. What's going on? If you could all just, bugger off and let me talk, that would be very, very nice. Just, dynamite's not really what we need, is it? Guys everywhere. What the hell? But yeah, as I was saying about the Strid in Yorkshire, it's a dangerous stream, essentially, because, like I say, the water density is not that, well, not as great as you might think. There we go, there's a trap, that's good. And as a result, you know, there have been sort of incidents of people who have like tried to sort of jump over it and who've fallen in, and as a result they've just gone straight to the bottom, because obviously it's quite a fast flowing stream. Naturally they then get dragged along by the water current along the bottom, because of course it's jagged rocks and things like that, so it's really fucking dangerous. So either, you know, if you don't get completely dashed against the friggin' rocks at the bed of the stream, you can essentially just drown in that real quick. And it's one of those kind of very nightmarish things, basically. So, you know, that was a video I'd been watching from Tom Scott. And as well as that, I've been watching more recently a few videos from Fascinating Horror. And, you know, I was just thinking about how scary nature actually can be when you watch some of the videos, for example, from Tom Scott and people like that. Because, you know, these Fascinating Horror ones I was looking at, there was one I was watching on Yellowstone National Park over in the US. Now, the thing about Yellowstone National Park is it lies obviously on volcanic land. There's a lot of volcanic activity going on underground there, and so what that results in a lot of things like geysers and hot springs. But the problem with Yellowstone is that they're not hot springs of the sort that you might see in some countries where you could literally bathe in them. No, the ones in Yellowstone, it's literally boiling water, and in some cases, because it has like sulfur content to it, it's also acidic, some of these hot springs that you get in Yellowstone. And so the video I was watching was like, as you can imagine, like a history of basically accidents where people have fallen in and have been so badly burnt that, you know, in some cases they've died as a result. So yeah, that was a nice joyous video to watch. That was quite disturbing as well as that. There we go, got rid of them. And yeah, it's one of those things that, you know, makes you think, damn nature, you scary, and all that. Because let's be bloody honest, nature is terrifying when it wants to be. And yeah, now I suddenly don't want to go anywhere near Yellowstone National Park. Okay, there we go, there's another trap. Oh, another 3 traps, that's fantastic, isn't it, just, ladies and gentlemen? So yeah, Yellowstone National Park, watch out for the boiling, in some cases, acidic hot springs, ladies and gents. They're absolutely terrifying. So there's those. And then I was watching another Fascinating Horror video, which was the story of Taylor Mitchell, which is from quite a few years ago now, but essentially it was a young woman who was out somewhere, I think it was in Canada, and she was on a hiking trail, and she basically got attacked by coyotes. Which, of course, is unusual, because normally a lot of wild animals, of course, they fear humans and they won't go near you. But, of course, every so often you do hear of incidents like that. And admittedly, you know, they're rare incidents. You know, they're not frequent things. They don't happen very often. But, again, damn nature, you freaking scary and all that. It's like, I'm so glad I live in the UK, in a place where we don't really have any sort of real kind of wild animal that we have to be worried about. But, you know, you go to places like North America and it's like fucking grizzly bears, wolves, coyotes, bobcats, God knows what else. And, you know, nature is fascinating and all that, don't get me wrong. But nature is fucking terrifying when it wants to be. But yes. And I know, yes, you know, the thing is, like, obviously, recorded incidents of wild animals attacking humans, things like that, you know, they're terrifying. I mean, sorry, not terrifying. I mean, they are terrifying, yes, but admittedly, they're not the most frequent of incidents. You know, they only happen very rarely. But just goes to show, you know, you got to respect nature and all that. And especially if you're somewhere in North America, you got to, you know, be prepared for encounters with wild animals, I guess, if you're out hiking deep in the woods. So, you know, like not going, obviously, for a start, not going in small groups, making sure you're not alone, rather, when you go hiking and stuff like that. It is terrifying. And yes, then combine that with the fact that sometimes it's not even wild animals you have to worry about, and it's even worse, isn't it not, ladies and gentlemen? There's so many freaking robots around here. Can I maybe shoot a few of them off? Actually, not with a shotgun at this range. I wonder how many of these dudes I could snipe. Or maybe I could just pull them out like this. Oh. Seems they're actually now shooting at each other all of a sudden. Wow, I just set something off without even meaning to. Alright, well you guys just fucking annihilate each other and I'll pick off the stragglers. That'll be good, right? Okay, hold them. Right, you're down. There's another one out. So you don't have to worry about him. We'll take out this guy as well, whilst we're at it. There you go. Got him, there we go. Gotta be careful not to waste too much ammo though. Alright, they're still going at each other. I'm hoping the shotgun blast kind of pull him away, which they are doing, that's good. Wow. I didn't anticipate that was going to go the way that it did, but that's great. Where's the other body? It's over here. At least it got rid of a few of the guys who have been hanging all over kind of this place. God, it's so dark you can barely even see anything. Damn it, I'm not going to have much room left for traps with the amount of bloody shotgun ammo that I've got. Well, that's fine, because I can always use up a bit of ammo, can't I? Just to take out robots if need be. Nothing in there. Hold it. Hello! Right, you're down. There we go. Just going to get rid of you, because I can. That way it potentially saves, you know, potentially gives me an opportunity to use up some ammo. Oh! 4 traps! Fantastic! We're doing well, actually, this episode, aren't we? Ladies and gents, I don't need revolver ammo. Actually, we do need revolver ammo, because we're running out of revolver ammo. Revolver ammo? Been saying that repeatedly now, haven't I? Do I really need this axe? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I don't even need this much. Why have I got... I've got 3 bloody matchbooks. It's kind of ridiculous, really. What do I need all this for? Maybe I should just shoot these robots in the meantime, just to use up some ammunition. Let me just reload this bad boy. Hello, gents. I'm going to take you down, boys. Hello. Bonk. There we go, and you're going down next. Hello. Oh, God, wow, you've missed sight of me entirely. Got ya. There we go. Right, oh my God, you know, you've just got more freaking shotgun ammo for me to... I don't need it. I don't need it. Don't need it at all. Don't get distracted, Andrew. Red. Don't get distracted by all that. So yes, moral of this episode, ladies and gentlemen. Damn nature, you scary. Respect it, and all that. I'm sure I don't need to tell people. I'm sure people are already well aware of how dangerous and scary nature can actually be. So, there you go. Oh my God, there is another trap here. See, we need to do some inventory management now, because we got all this stuff just jam-packed in our in our space that we don't need. You know what? Maybe get rid of some of the stealth equipment, because it's just using up space. That's all it's doing. Right, put that in there. Look at that, 5 bloody traps. 5 bloody traps, ladies and gents. It's fantastic. There we go. Okay, round here. You know, whilst we are on the subject, though, of what I'm talking about, you know, fascinating horror and all that, I did watch another one that was very interesting. It was about Centralia in Pennsylvania. I'd never even heard of this place. If you haven't seen the video that Fascinating Horror did on that, it's well worth a watch. It's basically a ghost town. Well, I say ghost town. It was a town that in the 60s there was basically a landfill in an old disused coal mine shaft, which they tried to clear out by burning, but the problem is what they didn't realise was that part of the mine shaft hadn't been sealed properly, so when they set the fire on it, it caused a whole section of the old mine that was still full of coal to set on fire, and basically it caused essentially a disaster that essentially forced them to evacuate a whole town. So a fascinating story, that one. I'd never, like I said, never even heard of it. Didn't even know it was a thing. So yeah, great to watch. Great to behold and all that. Yes. Like I say, I'm sure there's quite a few people in my audience who watch Fascinating Horror. Certainly if the responses to my TF2 video were, well, that most recent TF2 episode of mine were anything to go by. Seems like there's quite a few people. Well, a few people at least. But, yes. Any more friggin' things that I can take? I'm going to have some fish and chips whilst I'm at it. Did we check this village over here before? Actually, no. We probably did, but... I know, yeah, we did, because there's fucking dead robots by it, so yeah, it's that one. It's that one, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, let's go over this way, then. Over this way, and we'll go beyond the wall. And we'll see what the deal is over there. Or maybe, actually, I could head back to the centre island and deposit all these traps that I picked up, if I can work out where the hell it was that I actually put the other 3. Because the thing is, now we've got 5 of them. That's a total of 8 traps. It's going to be one heck of a tour group that we're going to be able to potentially entrap in our tourist trap castle. It's going to be great. There we go. It'd be an interesting topic of conversation, ladies and gents. On that subject of damn nature, you scary. Has anyone out there ever had any experiences, any scary, spooky experiences in nature? Maybe you've been out camping, somewhere like that, and you've had a bit of a run-in with a wild animal, or as close to a run-in with a wild animal as as is possible. But who knows? Because I know there's probably going to be more than a fair share of you viewers out there who are based in places unlike the UK where there are significant wild animals that might be a problem. I'm sure we have quite a few people watching who are probably from North America and who probably live in areas where there are coyotes and bobcats and who knows what else. Or even perhaps Australian viewers, because basically the reality about Australia. Pretty much everything in that country can fucking kill you. Everything in that country is venomous. Even the non-venomous stuff, the stuff that would be normally non-venomous, is probably venomous. Deary me. Alright, where am I going? Right, I'm going to the jetty, that's what I'm doing. Seriously though, Australia is a country which I would love to go to it, but I want to pick my destination within Australia fairly carefully. Thing is, I have family who have a bit of connections with Australia, they've lived out there, things like that. And they have stories about fucking wildlife encounters, including the one from an aunt of mine who once got into a car and saw a spider on the bloody windscreen. So she activated her windscreen wipers to try and brush it off, then realised it wasn't on the outside, it was on the inside. And it was a big spider, by all accounts, not a tiny little one. So no thanks. Probably a fucking, I don't know, black widow or funnel web or something, who knows. Alright, it is coming daytime, isn't it? Yeah, no need for the torch then. Crack out the old shotgun and jump cut. Yeah, but continuing with that theme, obviously of like family who've lived out in Australia, they have so many fucking stories of just wildlife. Because I've had relatives who have lived in some of the more outback areas of Australia before, and good God, just the stories of fucking like big snakes and shit like that. I just think, fuck that. I don't want to go out there myself. No, thank you very much. I'm quite content with where I am. Yeah, like I say, I think Australia it's just one of those places, probably best to go to the more temperate areas, where probably the wildlife is going to be a bit less terrifying. But there you go, and all that. Right, where was the building? What was the building that I used to get rid of my other 3 traps? I'm just going to have to find it. I'm sure it was a big house, wasn't it? It was one of the big mansions, I think. I can't even flipping remember for the life of me, but if we can find it in the remainder of this episode, that'll be good. See, this is why I would love to get my hands on an actual map, because it would make things so much easier, wouldn't it? Hello? You see, there are random objects missing from some of these buildings, which means I've been here before, which is good. It's goody gumdrops, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, all you Australians out there watching, assuming there are any, there will be. I'm sure there are. I'm sure I've had friggin' viewers from Australia in the past here on the channel. And let me know. You ever had a run-in with big snakes, or maybe big spiders, or something else? Who knows? Who knows indeed? I'm trying to think, like, have I ever had like run-ins with weird wildlife myself? Probably not. I mean, nothing I can remember. I suppose the one, this isn't really much of a wildlife story, but the closest I've really ever come, and it's probably not that close at all, is in family holidays. For example, when we used to go to Greece, and sometimes you would get like insects that are bigger than what you're used to. So, for example, I remember one year in Greece, I must have only been a teenager at the time, and has anyone ever seen those like house centipedes? There's like, if you haven't seen a picture of a house centipede, go and have a look at them. Because most centipedes, when you look at their shape and form, they have a very particular, a lot of them kind of conform to a certain shape. Obviously, they have a very long, sort of thin body, and obviously, they have lots of legs. But usually, the legs are quite short, and maybe they have like a pair of long antennae. Sometimes like on either end, because I think some centipedes do that. Probably all of them, in fact, for all I know. But house centipedes are like really different because their like bodies are like shorter, but their legs, they have like lots of legs, but their legs are like a lot longer, so they look a bit freaky. And the thing is, like, house centipedes, as far as I'm aware, are harmless. They can't actually do anything to you, but God, they are freaky looking. I'm pretty sure I remember one time on a family holiday in Greece encountering one of those things. It was just like, Jesus, you freaky, my friend. So yeah, big animals, a little bit freaky. Now I'm guessing this is the house where I put my traps. Yeah, because it's had a few objects cleared from it by the looks of it. Which door was it? Not that one. Was it the front door? Probably the front door, right? No, it must have been the side door around here. Alright, well, we'll check out the side door. There it is. Oh, look at that. Feels so satisfying now to put all these in here. So yes, we are going to be so well equipped for this challenge. We now have 8 traps. That's a total of potentially 8 tourists who we could entrap in the castle and force to listen to our rambling account of the history of whatever castle we ultimately choose to do the tour at. Alright, you know what, I'm going to go to the jetty, I'm going to save my game, and then we're going to wrap up. And obviously in the next episode we'll probably go off to another island, check for more traps, bring them back here. And of course, once we've checked all the other islands, we'll probably start setting up for the guided tour, ladies and gentlemen. Now, of course, that does make me think I'm going to have to divide my traps very carefully between the castle and the gift shop afterwards, because obviously that's the bonus objective, to get them by the gift shop as well. So, Facebook and Twitter links down below, along with the link to my propagandist channel for anyone interested. If you enjoyed, a like's always appreciated and all that, but see you in the next part then, ladies and gentlemen. Well, no doubt be rambling about whatever topic springs to mind. Goodbye, everybody! Dagobah is apparently within viewing distance of that guy, but might not be too much of an issue. Just like these guys, they've only got rifles, so they're not too much of an issue. Okay, apparently they can see me from this range. Run. Okay. Gosh. Oof. Took him out. Took a bit of a beating there, but we did it. I think Dagobah actually helped out a little bit, which was good. Right, he's dropped some rifle ammo for Grom, that's good. You take that. Did this guy appear up anything? He did. More ammo for the rifle, that's good. Grom is going to need to heal up, though, if we can get our hands on some stuff. But by the looks of it, the only Nazi left is this guy down here on the train platform.